Hello. Today we are going to Report Designer, ExpressView Report, and Express Report Wizard. So I'll be walking you through how to set up both of those types of reports. We're going to start with the ExpressView report. So in Student Information, you're going to navigate to Local and then Report Designer. Here it is in your menu. Local, Report Designer. Once you're in the Report Designer, you're going to click the plus sign up in the top left corner, and you're going to choose ExpressView Report. As you can see, there's always a tutorial that starts here to help you with the ExpressView Designer. I'm going to go ahead and click Skip Tutorial. It'll say, would you like to skip this tutorial? And I'm going to click yes. If down the line I get a little bit more versed in this, I can say disable the tutorial and disable hints. But I'm going to keep those up, and I'm just going to choose skip tutorial. I'm going to come down to the student folder and find a category. The category that I'm going to choose is Student Demographic 4. Those are the fields that I want to pull from. I'll expand that again. These are the fields that I can choose from. So I'm going to pull over age. I can get it over there either by double clicking, pressing the arrow, or drag and drop. I'm also going to pull over first name, grade level, student status, or status name, I should say, and student number. Student number is the number that is in student information. Student ID is a number that runs in the background. So always make sure you choose student number because you won't recognize the student ID. I'm going to close this hint. So now that I have all of my data that I want over here in the window view, I want to put it in a certain order when it comes over. So I want to be by grade level first and then first name. So you can see I'm just grabbing, clicking, and dropping. Then I'll have age and I'll have student status and student number. I want to look at the sorts, and there's two different ways that I can get to that. So if I want to sort it by grade level, I can hit this radial button here, and I can choose the sort, I can choose the filter, I can choose grouping, or I can remove that column. I'm going to go ahead and choose sort. Now this is the primary sort for my report. I'm going to close that hint. I can also sort by coming over to the right-hand side and clicking on this icon here for sort. You can see I have it sorted by grade level, then by age, but I want to do it first name next. So I can just click and drag and drop by grade level, first name, age, status, student number. I'm good on the sort. I'm going to click this sorts again just to get that off of there. here, I can check this live data button. This allows me to see all of the information. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. It's gathering the information. You can see here I have students in here with no grade levels and no statuses. I have 274 pages. I'm going to go to the last page by clicking on the double right arrows. And you can see I have 27,000 kids, or lines, I should say. You can see this student here, Zachary, in here twice. You can see it's the same student because of the student numbers. This student is in here twice as well. So obviously there's something wrong. And I'm going to say that it's probably my filter. So I'm going to get out of live data just by clicking that radio button again. I'm going to come over to my filters over here. Again, I can choose by filtering over here. I'm going to go by status first. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the filter, which opens up it over here too. It's saying the student demographic or status name is equal to, I have more than one status that I want it equal to. So I'm going to choose the operator of is not or is one of so that I can choose more than one status. Then I'm going to go to my drop down. And I'm going to say I want active, and I have all these other ones to choose from, but I'm just going to choose active for now. A lot of you might have like your JVS, your resident, or I'm sorry, open enrollment from another district, but I'm going to go ahead and just use active. I'm going to close my little hint. I'm going to choose live data again. Now you can see I'm down to 19 pages, and these are all active students. You can see that I have a duplicate again here with Aaron, and it has his student number in here twice. So I know that it's him in there twice, so I need to do some more filtering. I'm going to come over here to the live data. I'm going to go to my filters again. And I'm going to come over here because I can filter on things, on category fields that are not in my layout. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to choose school year because I'm probably pulling from more than one school year. And I'm going to just drag and drop that over into the filter area. So they have to meet all of the following conditions. They have to have an active resident and school year 1920. I'm going to go ahead and click live data again. Now you can see, well, I don't have Aaron in there anymore, but I don't have any duplicates either. I'm down to 13 pages and 1,200 students, 1,262 on my student count. I'm going to click live data again. I'm going to show you those filters again. So these are all students who have an active status and are enrolled with an active status for the 2019-2020 school year. So I feel like I have a pretty good list of who my students are. And now I want to add a grouping to my students. So the reason for my list is I want a student list by grade level. So I'm going to come to my little radio button above grade level. I'm going to click on the radio button, and I'm going to choose this top option of group. Now you can see there's no longer a column called grade level, but there is a header of grade level. Let me show you what that looks like in live data. So here's all my first graders listed by first name. If I come to page 2, here's the start of my second graders. But it also gives me a count of each different column for each different grouping. So I have 101 active first graders for the 1920 school year. I also want to group them by homeroom now. So I'm going to get out of live data. I'm going to come over to my field. I'm going to choose homeroom, and I'm just going to drag and drop it over. And then I'm going to do a second grouping so that I have a list of first graders, then by homeroom, then by first name. So I'm going to click on the radio button next to homeroom. I'm going to click the grouping. And as you can see, I have grade level, then homeroom, and then the information that I want in there. I'm going to click the live data again so you can see that. And now I even have a count by homeroom. So I have first graders in homeroom first A, I have 16 students. First graders in homeroom first B, I have 20. I'm going to click live data again. So now I decided I don't want my report to group it by homeroom. I'm going to click the little radio button next to homeroom. And I'm going to choose this over here to ungroup. So now I have my homeroom here. But I do want my report to be broken down by homeroom, and then sorted by homeroom, and then sorted by first name. So I'm going to come over to my sorts. I'm going to drag homeroom up above first name. I'm going to close my sort. I'm going to hit show live data. And now I have my first graders. They are listed by homeroom and by first name. So my report is good to go. I'm going to come over to the settings wheel over here in the top right. I'm going to click it. I'm going to enter a name for my report. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to enter a description. I'm going to select which folder I want it in. I'm going to put it in my report because this is a report that is for me that I'm going to use. I can do export settings. I can say that I want it to fit the content, how I want it to be allowed to be exported. Some other options here of including setup. That means it will will not be at the end of the report or at the top or at the bottom of the report. I'm going to say no. And the setup information is basically what fields I have over there in my sorting orders and my filters. I'm going to keep all of this other information set. I can also change this into an advanced report and do some more advanced reporting on this. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to come back up here to report information, and I'm going to hit save report information. Now the report is saved. I can come over to my folders, go to my report, and you'll see I now have a report in there. I can tell it's ExpressView report because I had the little lightning bolt there, and students by grade level. If I click on that, it gives me the description here that I typed in when I saved. That is all I have for ExpressView report. I'm going to close my tab, and I'm going to now do the same report on Express Report. I'm going to come over to the plus for create new report. I'm going to choose Express Report. This is a little bit different. I kind of like it because it walks you through the steps of what you need to do. I'm going to give the report a name. I'm going to call it Student by, I'm just going to call it by grade. I can tell the difference. I'm going to select the folder that I want it in. So whatever one's highlighted, I am going to keep it under my report. I'm going to click next, or I can choose the next tab up here. And it's going to say what select categories to include on a report. So I'm going down to student again. And I'm coming to the student demographic report. And I can get it over here by either double clicking the arrow, or clicking add. I have my double clicker. So I double click, it's over here. I'm going to click next because that's the only category I'm going to use. By the way, on ExpressView and Express Report, you really can only use one group because you can't do joins in those reports. Those are more advanced report features. So I'm going to kind of skip over that, bring it over any more than that. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. And it's going to ask me, how do you want your report sorted? So if you remember correctly, I'm going to sort it by grade level, then by homeroom, and then by first name. I'm only doing first names today because I am using live data, and I don't want to give anything away on what's going on or with the student. So these are the sorts: grade level, homeroom, and first name. I'm going to go ahead and hit next. It's going to ask me, how do I want to filter it? So I want to filter by school year, and I want to filter by status name, and I'm also going to filter by school name. So in my school year, I'm going to click on that so it's highlighted in blue. I want it to equal to the 1920 school year. And you can see that I can choose any of the operators that I'm going to do equal to, because I'm only choosing one school year. Status name, I am going to choose is one of, so that I can choose more than one status. I'm going to say active, and I can choose any more of these that I like. On the school name, I'm going to leave that blank, and I'm going to say prompt for value. That way, if a user is running this report, they can choose which school they want to run the report for. So I'm going to add that prompt for value. So the only filter that will come up when a user runs this report is going to be school name. Everything else is defaulted to the 1920 school year and the statuses that you check. I'm going to go ahead and click next. And this is going to be my layout of the data field. So I am going to choose from this area, student demographic 4. I'm going to pull over homeroom, first name. You can see these are in alphabetical order. Student number. Remember, we're using number, not ID. Grade level. And age. Let's say I decided I want grade level behind homeroom or in front of homeroom. If I highlight grade level, I can come over and move the row up, and up. So now you can see that grade level is first, then homeroom, then first name, student number, age. I can also add formulas, which I'm not going to do now. I'm not going to touch anything with the summary function. I can do a count, average, minimum, average, sum. I can move up or down, and I can delete a field if I no longer want it. Now I have down here a little place where I can kind of edit some stuff. Like, say I want the student grade by grade. Say I want a nice little fill in there, so I'm going to turn it in yellow, and I'll make this already bolded. I'm going to make the font a little bit bigger. If I click off of that field, you'll notice it's highlighted in yellow. I'm also going to highlight my columns. I can do one at a time. Make these green. Let's say I meant to do it all the way across. I can either click on that field and then hit my control button and choose all the other fields that I would like and choose that green for them as well. Now they're green all the way across. I also want to bold that since they're column headers. Already been bolded. Turn back. And then now that I have this all set up, I'm going to hit next. Here's the general information. Do I want to include the setup information? I'm going to say no, which are, again, are your filters, your categories, and your sorts. You can choose to put it at the top of the report or at the bottom. The file execution window, I always keep it as default. And if there's no data qualified, I do want a message. And if you get that, normally that has to do with either there truly is no data or you have an issue with your filter. I'm going to come to the X And I can say how I want the export type to be allowed. I'm going to keep all of them. But if you have a report that users are going to run and you don't want them to be able to mess with the data on it, you can change it to only PDF, and then they can't unless they have like Adobe Pro or something like that. We wanted to simulate a PDF when the report viewer opens. We wanted to show grids. I'm not going to suppress any formatting for Excel, which means it'll just come over the way it is. It is letter size. It is portrait. I can change that to landscape. And I want everything to fit to the page width. I'm going to click on this advanced, and I can turn this into an advanced report. If you notice, this cannot be undone, which is no big deal if you do it and you don't put any more advanced options on it, but that is there. I'm going to go ahead and just leave that alone. I'm going to come over and hit the Save button. It's saving. I'm going to go ahead and I can either run the report or I can go ahead and export it without running it, then exporting it. So I'm going to hit the export, and I'm going to export mine as CSV. You can see here, I have that pop up, and it's only asking me for a school name because that's the only one that I said prompt for value. So I'm going to choose the high school, click OK. And you can see that it downloaded here in the left-hand corner. I'm going to go ahead and just hit Run Report so you can kind of see what it looks like. Here's my Excel file. So it does give me the name of it, and here's all the information for that. I'm going to go ahead and hit this Run Report here so you can see it as well. Again, I will be prompted for the school name that I want to use. Okay. Here's the information populated into my report window. I can go through the different pages. I can find a student. So if I'm looking for the name Bell, it took me to page 5 to find one. I can look for another Isabella. No more matches found. Go to the previous one. And here is another Isabella here on page 3. I want to close this view. So I come over here to my tabs, hit the X, close it. I'm done writing my report. Close it. And now you can see under my reports, I have students by grade level and students by grade. This is an ExpressView report, a little light and bold. And this is an Express report. This is ExpressView and Express. And that is the end of this recording for Report Designer, ExpressView report, and Express report.